Well, delighted to be here with the newly appointed Mayo senior football manager, Andy Moran. Andy, how does that sound? First of all, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Michael D. Yeah, it's something that hasn't really sank in, if I'm being honest. Since Monday, it's been hectic. There's been a lot of work, a lot of answering messages and well wishes and stuff like that. But there's been an awful lot of work in terms of the football side of it, the playing group side of it, and all that already. So listen, it was straight into it. But hopefully over the next couple of days, we can put the feet up for an hour and think, what is just after happening. But no, it was straight into it, Michael D. I won't lie to you. And yeah, it's something we're really relishing and looking forward to.
When the job became available, did you say, okay, this is my time? Or do you think, do I wait a couple of years? Do I go now? How do you make that decision?
No, I think when it came up a couple of years ago when Kevin and Stephen got it, I had a year done with Leitrim, and there was an awful lot of people ringing me to say, Joe, would you go for it? And I was kind of like, absolutely no way. I knew it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't the time. So I pulled myself straight away, got out of that situation straight away. But this time was different. There's a lot of water under the bridge. I've done 4 years in senior inter-county and just felt it was the right time. I do think it's, and I don't want to be insulting to anyone, but I do think it's a young man's game in terms of energy, in terms of your kids being the right age, being supportive of it at home and all that sort of stuff. So when you add in all them factors, I can give the time to it now at this moment in my life. That might be the case in 5 or 6 years' time, so why not?
Of course, with Leitrim, with Monaghan last year as well as a coach, you're always a Mayo man. I know you're probably not going to the games in the last number of years as much as you would have liked to. Of course, been involved with other counties and other commitments. For you, looking on the outside, looking at the last couple of years and looking out to the future, what is it about this Mayo crop coming through? Do you think there's something special there? Obviously, there's been great success under 20s and the minors as well. And indeed, there's still a lot of experienced guys you've soldiered over the years there. What do you feel is there at the moment, this Mayo structure?
Yeah, well, you use the word special, and I wouldn't use that. I would say there's great potential in the group. I think there's obviously there's that lovely mix between youth and experience. There's 2020 under 20 team with Hessian and Brickington and McBride and all them guys, Kearney, all them guys that played in that 2020 team that narrowly lost to Galway on penalties. Galway going to win the All-Ireland in 2020 in that under 20, and then you still have the Germans, the Stevie Coens and these guys, Fergal Bolins, who won the All-Ireland in 2016. So there's a lovely mix between your middle-aged 20s, your older fellas, and then we've a lovely little group coming through from the minors to the 20s. So I just feel there's great potential in the group. You get an outlier like Davin Neary really producing the goods from club championship into senior last year, and if they make the same amount of gains that they did in the last 12 months, Joe, you wouldn't know where this could go. But it's about getting the right fundamentals right first, Michael, getting the fellas working on the stuff that we need to work on, getting the really working on them small kind of areas, them small margins, and then you can talk about the special and the potential and all that, but it's the work rate and the drive and the commitment that you need to get right before any of that starts.
New rules, it's a new game completely. When you're back playing yourself for Ballahadreen, did you notice that?
It was kind of the reason I went back playing, Michael D. I'll be honest with you. Obviously, a good friend of mine, Patrick Sharkey, is over the team, and he gave me the freedom to come to training when I'm there and whatever to play. But like when he said it to me, I actually originally said no. But my thing was then, I'm coaching a game that I've never actually played in because the new rules, the 2 pointers, the 3 up to 3 back. So I said, geez, when the opportunity is there, I will go and play it because it's another way to learn about what's happening around, and my body was still able to play, and I really enjoyed it. But the game has completely changed. It's the spaces that are there, the way teams are setting up, the way cornerbacks are unsure of themselves because now all of a sudden there's so much space, they have to mark really tight. The level of frees you can win, the discipline, the way you can slow down the game has really changed. So the whole kind of dynamic of the kick out and everything has changed, and to be in it is great. But I will say one thing, to coach the game is so much better. Like, it's such a good game to coach, and that to me is the exciting part of this, is that we did an awful lot of good work last year. We were a point, we lost 2 points to Galway. We just missed out against Donegal with Kieran Moore's last kick at score, nearly a heart attack on Midwest. We just missed out. There's so much little gaps you can make in these 6 months leading into the National League that I think that it's a really exciting time.
How can Mayo utilise the most out of these new rules? And I suppose the style of play, will it be similar to the Mayo style we've known over the years, the running game, the direct football, the exciting, the chaotic style of play that we've grown to love?
Well, I think that's the Mayo style, Michael. It's not that it's not the Mayo style. I think what happened over the last couple of years is people said, we'll take the chaos out of Mayo, and if you take the chaos out of Mayo, they're not half as good. And then we just need to adapt to teams trying to do that. But now all of a sudden, there's space and there's areas to run into. And so that game, the game that we love and we like to watch, that game is back. That is the way the game's gone now. And obviously you didn't see that as much in the All-Ireland final and the semi-finals because they were a bit one-sided. But if you look at the quarter-finals throughout them 4 games, it was chaos. It was running, it was kicking, it was goal scoring, it was defenders getting an awful lot of points. It was ball winning inside, which we haven't seen in years. And the inside forward was back in the game. So, yeah, I do see that this is the way the game is going. So I think it suits our style of play.
A number of guys stepped away last year. James Carr, Pádraig O'Hora, Michael Plunkett, of course, Cillian O'Connor. Are you hopeful, and would you anticipate and expect that all those guys make themselves available for you and the team for the 2026 season?
Yeah, I think the phone calls will be made. Obviously, you're not going to ring everyone, or then there'll be no room for the younger guys coming through. But there'll be certain fellas within that cohort that you'd ring and you'd hope to be able to get back in because you feel they can add something to the group. And a year off for some of them guys could have been good. An awful lot of them were injury prone. An awful lot of them went through an awful lot of changes in their life and stuff like that. So you can kind of just go and give them a call, open up the avenue to them, have a coffee with them and see how they feel about it. And if they're eager and they're hungry to come back, the door will be definitely open for them.
And the big one, of course, Andy, is Cillian O'Connor. He's the all-time scorer, one of the finest footballers may have had over the years. People saying the new rules would suit him down to the ground. He's been in flying form for Ballintubber as well. Will we see him in the Mayo shirt in 2026?
When I came here tonight, I have to say, I had anticipated an awful lot of questions. But the one question that has been asked more than anything, I think, tonight has been about Cillian, which is, it's good. It's good because it shows the respect the Mayo people have for them, have from the Mayo public have for him. And it shows, I suppose, a level of the care they have him as a player and how highly they respect him. The call will be definitely made to Cillian. The call, like the conversations have already started, and we're very hopeful. Am I saying he's definitely coming back? No, I'm not, but I'd love to see him in a Mayo jersey in 2026.
Is it a challenge, the fact that yourself and, of course, Colm as well, knows a lot of the current guys so well, played with them? Obviously, you have experience with Ballahadreen. You mentioned Patrick Sharkey there as well. You'd have coached, you'd have played. Colm the same at Davids. Is that a challenge at times? Sometimes you're making crucial decisions and you're kind of dealing with guys.
See, I look at this, like I was with Leitrim for 3 years, and obviously you build up great relationships in the year 1 and year 2 with players. But then we brought 8 under-20s through in 2024. We brought 8. So you're dropping the guys that you've built great relationships with in 22 and 23. And I just, at the end of the day, Colm Boyle, Andy Moran, Paddy Talley, no matter what the relationship with the players is, you have to build a team with a dynamic that you think can go win the game. And if that's an 18-year-old, that's a 33-year-old, they'll be picked on merit, and that's it. So I don't really find it difficult. I this is inter-county elite level football. I don't see I understand the question. I think it's a really, really fair question, and I suppose it's been asked an awful lot over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not totally immune to it, but I just don't see how that would the best 15 players that we feel will go on the field on any given day, and then the likes of yourself and Martin and all you guys in Midwest and Mayo News and Western People and Connacht Telegraph and the blogs and the podcasts, you can pick it apart then. But you're our jury, and then we just make the decisions, and then you you can comment then after it, you know.
Well, one guy had in the jury for a lot of times is taken away from me now, Colin Boyle. So I really can't have him for the next couple of seasons. So talk about your management team. First of all, Colin, why did you decide to pick up the phone and get Colin Boyle involved?
It was the first call. It was, it was very easy. There was no one else. He was the call. I'll be honest, it's anyone, like people from the national wouldn't know what Colin was doing around me over the last couple of years, but what he's done with the 19s and the underage, like the man went in and was water boy for the under 20s. He was a 4-time All-Star, not even a selector on the team, doing water boy for the under 20s throughout the course of this year. There's no ego, there's no seeking adulation, there's none of that sort of stuff. It's all work rate for the betterment of Mayo football. So to me it was no brainer. I said in there to all the other journalists, I said, we're all in there. We've all played football since we're 5 years of age. In my view, we all know the same things. Like, nothing new has come. We all know the same things. It's when you have an opinion, are you willing to have the work rate to go and prove that opinion on your video analysis, on the training pitch? Are you willing to drive to Dublin to meet someone for a coffee who could be struggling with their confidence? Are you willing to pick up the phone and stay on it for 3 or 4 hours? If you're willing to do that, it's a no-brainer to get that person involved. And Colin, without any headlines, without any media, has proven that he can do that to the 9th degree, really, you know.
Another man proven on the national stage, Paddy Talley. We know what he done in Kerry and Tyrone. Would you come across him before yourself, I suppose, on a professional level in terms of coaching, or come against him on the sideline, or how does that happen?
No, it's a funny relationship. I've said it. It's we met actually for the first time. Moran played Derry in a challenge match the day Mayo played Galway here in Casper, and I was walking around Derry. I was up there way too early, and I was walking around the Centre of Excellence, and all of a sudden I fall into a room with Paddy Talley, and we have a first conversation. I came out of the conversation thinking, geez, I really enjoyed that. We're talking the same kind of philosophy on football. We played the match. I could see that, we were not too dissimilar the way we were thinking, so it was always in the back of my head, but for no reason did I think Paddy was going to be leaving Derry. And then all of a sudden that came up, so I bit the bullet, and probably way too early after something like that happens, I rang him 48 hours later, and yeah, thank God we had a lot of conversations, we met, great few meetings, and he was very eager to get involved, and I was very eager to have him. So we put the facilities in place that we can get a man of his credentials that gives us great experience on the sideline, on the training field. We've no doubt we'll give the energy, we'll give everything, we'll put the structures in place, but every now and then you need someone to slow it down, to see it from a different viewpoint, and to help you along that way. And Paddy brings his coaching experience, but he also brings his nous on the sideline as well.
Will you bring in more selectors?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I'm very happy with what I have. I would like if there was some sort of under 20 senior link. So we'll have that discussions over the next couple of weeks with the county board. But no, at the minute I'm very happy with what I have, so I wouldn't say I will or I won't,
And the rest of the Backroom team, is there some continuity there in terms of S&C and in terms of team doctors?
PJ, who was excellent last year with S&C, won't be with us next year. Conor Finn is taking over, but that's just because we want everyone on the ground in Mayo. SISM, Martin McIntyre will be leading the physio team, and Sean Moffat, as always, will lead the medical. And there's great continuity there in terms of injury profile. Conor obviously stepped away for a year, but he's back, but he knows all the players. So it's brilliant to get him back involved. With a great meeting there this morning with him, just outlining how we're going to work the end of August, September and October,
One point that struck me in the open media briefing we had was where you said you're going to try and get guys that are working away in Dublin and long distances, closer to home, get them jobs in the county, try and get them back in the county. Do you think that's important? You think back to your own playing days. I know you're on the road quite a bit yourself, and travelling can pick up injuries. It's a lot of pressure. Is that part of your thought process for that?
Yeah, but even like if you want to call a quick fire meeting in Castlebar and you need everyone at it, something goes wrong, something happens, you need everyone there, and you need to do it tomorrow. That you have everyone local, that you can meet them. That if I need to meet someone it's not over Zoom, which is very impersonal. It's not over a phone call. You go drive to the workplace, meet them for a coffee, have the chat with them, Joe, and it's, if there's an issue, you've dropped someone, you've taken off someone after 20 minutes, Joe, that level of contact, that level of communication, and the connection between the players and the fans is there as well. That's all that stuff is important. And away, then just the time in the car, the lack of skills that you're doing because you're in the car so long and you can't, Joe, you need to respect that. You're rushing out of training. Instead of taking your 40, 50 shots, you're up the road to Limerick, Belfast, Dublin. It's not what we want to do. We want to get everyone in Mayo, and I think that's not just for the betterment of the senior team, it's better for Mayo football in general, because if you have teachers, what are they doing? They're teaching the kids how to play football. They're our next generation of footballers, and it's not going to affect going that way as well.
What's the plan? What's the vision? In political terms, you see here with the 5-point plan, you're on a 3-year term. Is there a 3-year plan, year 1, year 2, year 3, or is it just going to be, let's bed into it first and see how the first few months go and not make any promises?
Well, I wouldn't make any promises anyway. This is to build Mayo football. It's not we're going to do this or we're going to win that. This is, can we get our absolute structures, our fundamentals, get a team on the pitch that are going to give 100% every single time they go on a pitch. That's all it is, Michael. That's what football is. People say, oh, we need to have this plan. Plan is fine until something happens, until a player gets injured or until someone retires, or the plan is the plan. I'm sure other managers that went in 2-3 years ago, I'm sure Kieran McGeeney, for example, didn't think it'd take him 10 years to achieve to what he achieved. So the plan moves, and you have to be pragmatic with the plan. Game plans, the rules changed last year. Can you be pragmatic? Can you move with the rules? Can you change around that? These are the big things that needs to be done. And for me, it's simple little changes, simple little improvements, and then the big changes come after.
You're a big advocate of the FBD. You'd like to see that return as well.
Well, it just gives, like, people are on about giving fellas games. Joe, you look at some of the players who are really excelling now in the club championship. But, like, it's a huge risk to put some of them into the first round of the National League. But if they've played 2 games, 3 games of the FBD, and they've played well and they've competed well, all of a sudden they're ready for a National League game. So now, and I used the example in there, I used the example of Moran being Cavan last year. Like, the way I looked at that was a huge game for Cavan. It was a huge game for Moran. Joe, and you're like nearly the biggest game of the year, if I'm being honest, and it's on January 28th, and you're putting these players in there cold. Joe, and you have to chase around the county, you have to get these challenge matches where these matches could be held on the door, they cost less money, they create a bit of finance for Connacht Council. Like, there's no negative to them. I can't see the negative. There is a negative if you're rushing fellas down from playing Sigerson and they're going playing FBD, McKenna's or Byrne Cup. I think there could be a protocol put in for that. But in terms of just getting fellas games who are playing club, who might be at that 23, 24 years of age, out of college, and getting them games, so it's a no-brainer.
Finally, Andy, it's a new era for Mayo football. There'll be a new minor management, a new under-20 management, with a new senior management as well. What's your message to the Mayo public, the Mayo supporters, in terms of rallying the troops again, getting them out there, getting that support base back up, the support base we saw back in your own playing time as well, where there's, I remember going to games where you'd see your supporters there 3-4 hours before a game and throw in. What's your message to the public?
Well, what I always say is actions kind of speak louder than anything I'm going to say here tonight. It's like, at the end of the day, what I'm doing here tonight is talking to the media. And like, it's not a rallying call to the supporters, but the point I'm trying to make is we want to get a team at minor, at 20s and at senior that the Mayo public are proud of. And the way you get that is by getting fellas on the field working 100% towards the goal. And if that is a loss and people leave the game and say, geez, that team gave everything, they'll go and watch that team again then the next night, and they'll go and watch that team again the next night. So for me, it's, can we get a team together who can absolutely chase everything, go after everything, and work hard? And if you can do that, then the tactical stuff, then all the supporters, all that sort of stuff comes back. But Michael, football sport is a simple game. You need a team that the public, the supporters can be proud of. If you get that, the supporters will follow. It's not rocket science. It's, can we play a style of football that the supporters like? Of course, but it's effort level to get that level up and over the line,
We're looking forward to seeing it all. Andy Moran, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations and the best of luck for the season ahead.
Thanks, lads. Really appreciate it.
Lovely.